See you later. Created by Arthur Rumrill. Aaron, known to everyone as Buzz because of his striking resemblance to the wide-eyed, eternally optimistic space ranger from that old Pixar movie, was on vacation in the Yucatán with his wife, Anne. Everyone called her Queen, and it suited her perfectly. She was the kind of blonde who stopped traffic without effort. Smoking hot, killer figure, curves that demanded attention, long legs that seemed designed for striding into rooms like she owned them. But the beauty came wrapped in an attitude, snarky, self-absorbed, quick to dismiss anyone she deemed the help. Resort staff, waiters, drivers, they were all interchangeable props in her world, treated with eye rolls and sharp commands. To the Queen, Buzz wasn't a partner. He was hers, property, a reliable fixture in her orbit, expected to revolve accordingly. The trip was meant to be relaxing, sun-drenched days, coffee on the balcony of their rented resort complex near the coast, waves murmuring at night. Queen spent most of it poolside in oversized sunglasses, phone in hand, occasionally barking orders at the staff when her cocktail wasn't chilled precisely right, or arrived with a garnish she hadn't requested. But this wasn't Buzz's first time at this exact resort. 3 years earlier, during peak hurricane season, he'd run the entire emergency security operation here under contract. The owners had brought him in after a near miss the previous year. He'd overseen hardening the buildings, training the staff on lockdown protocols, running full-scale evacuation drills, and coordinating with local police when rumors of looting surfaced. He'd spent weeks on site, working side by side with the same front desk manager who now handed him the master keycard, the same maintenance crew who'd once joked about his Buzz Lightyear build, even a few of the local vendors who supplied the place and lived nearby. He knew their names, their families, the way they took their coffee. And he'd picked up fluent Spanish and Haitian Creole chatting with the crews during long night shifts, languages that had saved lives before, and would again. That history was why, when the Category 4 warnings escalated and the resort's regular security team had to evacuate with their families, the manager had found Buzz in the lobby without hesitation. "You know this place better than anyone still here," he'd said, pressing the keycard and radio into Buzz's hand. "We're short, if you're willing." Buzz had nodded once. Queen had rolled her eyes, always the hero complex. But he was already moving. Then the warnings turned serious. The sky darkened to wet concrete gray, the air thick and pressing. They packed hastily. The resort organized an evacuation to a reinforced inland shelter. At the edge of the parking lot, as the first rain bands whipped the palms, Buzz leaned in to kiss Queen goodbye. She pulled back a fraction, brow arched. "You're actually doing this?" she said, voice laced with exasperation and scorn. "Staying behind like some wannabe? This is stupid, Buzz. The staff already left. Nobody's paying you anymore." He held her gaze, calm. "I've got this, Queen. Go. I'll catch up." She huffed, muttered about typical Buzz drama, then climbed into the van. As the door slid shut, Buzz caught her inside, already leaning forward, trying to direct the driver with clipped instructions, pointing at the road like she could command the storm to reroute. The other evacuees ignored her completely, staring out windows or checking phones. Queen's lips thinned, arms crossing as the van pulled away. Buzz chuckled under his breath, low and fond. Even in evacuation chaos, she was still trying to run the show, and the world was still refusing to listen. Buzz stayed. The complex felt both familiar and strangely empty. Shutters rattled. He moved with practiced ease, securing windows he'd personally reinforced years ago, bracing doors he'd tested in drills, cutting power to the same circuits he'd once mapped out. Outside, the gusts built, but another threat emerged, local gangs taking advantage of the abandonment. Shouts pierced the wind, glass shattered, engines revved. Looting had begun. He stepped onto the walkway. 5 or 6 men rounded the corner, drenched, gripping crowbars and machetes. They froze. Buzz recognized 2 of them instantly. One was the son of a vendor who used to deliver fresh fish to the resort kitchen. The other had helped with landscaping during his last contract here. They stared back, recognition flickering through the fear. Buzz raised his hand slowly. "It's me," he said in Spanish, voice steady. "Buzz, from before." The vendor's son blinked, lowered his crowbar a fraction. You're still here? Yeah, and you're still out in this shit. Come on, the basement in the main building, reinforced. You know it's solid. We drilled on it together once. He switched to Creole when another man muttered something frantic. No hesitation. Buzz led them through the darkened corridors he could navigate blindfolded, flashlight cutting the gloom. He pointed out the safest corner, away from windows, backed by the same load-bearing walls he'd once inspected, handed over flashlights, water, protein bars. As they settled, the younger guy, the vendor's son, looked up. Why help us? After everything? Buzz shrugged. Because I know you, and nobody should die out there if they don't have to. That's it. The man stared, then nodded slowly. Gracias, Buzz. He pulled the door closed. Buzz lingered a moment, hearing the muffled, settling, quiet voices, bodies shifting. A faint laugh that sounded almost like relief. Something eased in his chest. Just human decency, rooted in old connections, holding firm in the middle of hell. Then the storm hit, full of malice, unrelenting. Winds tore past 200 miles per hour. Tornadoes ripped roofs, fractured concrete. Rain blasted sideways, drilling through thin walls. Buildings collapsed in chain reaction, the complex groaning its last. Buzz wedged into a narrow hallway between load-bearing walls, back to one, feet braced. Debris hammered, glass exploded. Wind clawed gaps, howling like it breathed his name. The building shuddered violently. Concrete dust coated his tongue. Silence crashed in his mind. Buzz woke. The clock glowed at 4:44 a.m. Room dark, still, no wind, no rain. Heater hum and heart pounding. He lay there, letting the dream fade. See you later, Queen, he thought. And for the first time since waking, he believed it, though he wondered with a wry smile in the dark if later would include her finally listening to someone else for once.